Last year, we ran a list of 10 Super Bowl 54 matchups that we were drooling to see. The Kansas City Chiefs and Los Angeles Rams took the top spot. However, we did not have the Chiefs and San Francisco 49ers anywhere on our list. Shame on us. Well, there is no shortage of dreamy Super Bowl 55 showdowns that every football fan could get behind heading into the 2020 NFL season. Here are the 10 Super Bowl matchups we are drooling to see the most, and a big shout out to Thomas Berger for suggesting this video. Number 10. Pittsburgh Steelers versus Philadelphia Eagles. The Battle of Pennsylvania. Sign us up. The Steelers and Eagles have never met in the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, we only get to see these two teams meet every 4 years, and it simply isn't enough. The two teams will clash in the Steel City in Week 5, but we would have zero complaints if that was just a preview for Super Bowl 55 in Tampa Bay. Not just because of the whole Battle of Pennsylvania thing, but look at the actual matchup. Doug Peterson's high-flying offense against one of the NFL's most ferocious defenses, one that led the NFL with 54 sacks in 2019. How would Philly's elite offensive line, namely Jason Kelce, Jason Peters, and Lane Johnson, hold up against TJ Watt, Bud Dupree, and Cameron Hayward? That right there would be one epic matchup to watch. Not to mention that future Hall of Famer Ben Roethlisberger is running out of time to add a third championship to his resume. Could he outduel Carson Wentz and the Eagles, who are looking to add their second Super Bowl in 4 years? Add it all up, and it's safe to say that even non-Eagles and non-Steelers fans would be in for this Super Bowl 55 matchup. Number 9. Cleveland Browns versus Minnesota Vikings. This matchup may not be glamorous on paper, but ask yourself this: who wouldn't want to see the Sad Bowl? The Browns and Vikings fan base have suffered more frustration, heartache, and devastation than most other North American sports franchises. The Browns have been downright awful in the Super Bowl era. The Vikings are the opposite. They've come close many times to capturing the Lombardi Trophy, only for the inevitable playoff heartbreak to kick in. What if the Browns finally erased over 50 years of losing by finally winning the big one? Or what if the Vikings finally erased over 50 years of heartbreak by finally breaking through? The point is, it'd be hard for any football fan to not be happy for either winner here. And in terms of the matchup, Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski would face his former team, having served as Minnie's offensive coordinator before landing his current gig in the land. And then there's Baker Mayfield and Kirk Cousins, two of the league's most polarizing quarterbacks. You never know what type of performance you're gonna get from these guys, which makes watching them all the more intriguing. Oh, and sign us up for the Nick Chubb versus Dalvin Cook in a Super Bowl, please. Myles Garrett versus Danielle Hunter also sounds good to us. Number 8. San Francisco 49ers versus Las Vegas Raiders. Well, wouldn't this be something? How cool would it be if John Gruden's team reached the Super Bowl in their first year in Sin City? You know, kind of like how the NHL's Vegas Golden Knights made it to the Stanley Cup final in their first season. The actual matchup itself would be dandy too. The 49ers boast the league's best front seven. But could they slow down star running back Josh Jacobs? Could they break through a stout offensive line anchored by Trent Brown? On the flip side, could the Raiders' rebuilt front seven, led by newcomer Corey Littleton and youngsters Cleveland Farrell and Max Crosby, stop the 49ers' powerful rushing game? The coach's storyline would be cool too, with Kyle Shanahan looking to win his first Super Bowl against a man who last did it 18 years ago while coaching in Tampa, which just so happens to be the host city for this year's big game. Oh, and one more thing. These former Bay Area rivals absolutely hate each other. And we don't expect that to change, even with the Raiders now in Vegas. Number 7. Arizona Cardinals versus Houston Texans. Want a name for this Super Bowl? How about the DeAndre Hopkins Bowl? In case you forgot, Texans head coach and acting GM Bill O'Brien traded away his star receiver to the Cardinals in a questionable move that brought back injury-prone running back David Johnson. In this showdown, Hopkins would either get to make O'Brien look silly for trading him, or B.O.B. would get the last laugh by winning a Super Bowl against the franchise star that he was ridiculed for trading away. And hey, who wouldn't want to see a showdown between Kyler Murray and Deshaun Watson, two of the NFL's most dynamic young quarterbacks? Something tells us that we'll see both these men play in multiple Super Bowls during their respective careers. Murray versus Watson would be the quarterback affair, and both teams have plenty of holes on defense, so you can expect nothing but offense and points in this one. And last time we checked, those tend to be the most exciting Super Bowl matchups. Number 6. Dallas Cowboys versus New England Patriots. Even if Tom Brady is no longer a Patriot, Dallas versus New England is still a matchup that garners plenty of attention from football fans around the world. Why? Well, it's pretty simple. The Cowboys and the Patriots are easily the two most hated teams in the NFL, and probably the two most loved as well. Their 2019 regular season showdown, a 13-9 Patriots victory, drew nearly 30 million viewers on Fox. Dallas versus New England in the Super Bowl would be like the Lakers versus the Celtics in the NBA Finals, or the Dodgers versus the Yankees in the World Series. Two polarizing, big market teams that you either love or hate. Bill Belichick and the Pats defense shut down Dak Prescott and company in their last matchup. But with CeeDee Lamb and Super Bowl winning head coach Mike McCarthy now in town, you know Belichick would have a much more difficult time in trying to stop Dallas's offense. Oh, and how epic would it be if Cam Newton went to the Super Bowl after the NFL world wrote him off? You just know Belichick would love to rub this in Tom Brady's face. Yes, indeed, the Patriots versus the Cowboys is still a dream Super Bowl showdown, even without TB12. Number 5. Baltimore Ravens versus Seattle Seahawks. Surely, if these teams meet in Super Bowl 55, it would be closer than their Week 7 2019 showdown. There, MVP Lamar Jackson ran wild against the Seahawks defense, and in his first game against his old team, Earl Thomas and company shut down Russell Wilson in Seattle's high-flying offense. The final score was a rather convincing 30-16. At least it was exciting for 3 quarters, though. Jackson and Wilson are two of the greatest dual-threat quarterbacks we've ever seen. And you're telling me we get to see them duke it out again on the grandest stage? Yes, please. Think about all the epic trash talking from Thomas, too. Coming back to win in Seattle was cool and all, but it'd be even sweeter if he did it in the Super Bowl against his former team. On the flip side, Wilson and the Seahawks would finally capture that elusive second championship and put away the painful memories of their Super Bowl 49 loss to the Patriots. And something tells us that if it comes to 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line, Seattle will run the ball this time. But yeah, bottom line, Wilson versus Jackson would make for a thrilling Super Bowl. This is easily a top 5 dream matchup that just has to happen soon. Number 4. Green Bay Packers versus Kansas City Chiefs. Unfortunately, Patrick Mahomes' kneecap injury forced him to miss the dream showdown against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers in Week 8. Also, the Packers were just one win away from setting up a Rodgers-Mahomes showdown in Super Bowl 54. What if we finally got this matchup on the big stage? The main storyline would be Rodgers versus Mahomes, but let's also take a look at the other storylines. Could Mahomes in the passing game hold up against the Packers' ferocious pass rush and stout secondary? Could Rodgers and Devontae Adams make it work against Steve Spagnuolo's stingy defense? A Super Bowl 55 victory would make the Chiefs that much closer to a dynasty. A victory for Green Bay would finally net Rodgers that second championship ring that's eluded him for a decade now. His legacy as an all-time great is already set, but the man is too good to retire with only one Super Bowl. And for nostalgic's sake, who wouldn't want to see a rematch of Super Bowl 1 54 years later? I know you want it. Number 3. Baltimore Ravens versus San Francisco 49ers. We had this Super Bowl matchup 8 seasons ago, when the Ravens narrowly outlasted the 49ers to send Ray Lewis off into retirement as a champion. The Ravens and 49ers met in an unforgettable Week 13 2019 matchup. Lamar Jackson and company barely outlasted San Francisco in a rain-filled game that was dominated by both defenses. Baltimore and San Fran fielded the league's 2 best rushing offenses last season. The difference is that only one of them played in the Super Bowl. Now, this isn't only a dream matchup because of the 2 prolific rushing offenses, but also consider that these clubs field arguably the 2 best defenses in football. The 49ers are anchored by a resilient pass rush, while the Ravens do most of their damage with a ball-hawking secondary led by Marcus Peters, Earl Thomas, and Marlon Humphrey. Their Super Bowl 47 showdown was an all-time classic. Their 2019 regular season matchup also went down to the wire. So please, NFL, give us another Super Bowl showdown between the 49ers and the Ravens. The football world deserves it, don't you think? Number 2. New England Patriots versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Does this really require much of an explanation? We never got to see Joe Montana against his old 49ers team in the Super Bowl, or Brett Favre's New York Jets against the Packers in the big game. See where we're going with this? We're still waiting for that Super Bowl matchup that pits an all-time great quarterback against his former team. but none of them would be as epic as Tom Brady against the Patriots. I mean, come on, what more can we really say? The most accomplished quarterback of all time against the most accomplished head coach in the greatest Super Bowl dynasty of all time. Who would win this chess match between Brady and Belichick? Who would cement themselves as the most valuable part of the 21st century Patriots dynasty? That's all we can really say. Brady and Belichick are the greatest head coach quarterback duo ever, but the tense relationship finally reached its breaking point. How sweet would it be for one of these guys to exact revenge by defeating the other in the Super Bowl? Number 1. Kansas City Chiefs versus New Orleans Saints. These two teams will meet in a can't-miss Week 15 matchup. That's not enough for us. Let's get Mahomes versus Breeze Part 2 just a few weeks later in Super Bowl 55. Remember, we were one NOLA no-call and one D Ford offside penalty away from getting this matchup in Super Bowl 53. It would only be fair and fitting to have it 2 years later. So, what else could we possibly say about this matchup? It would feature two high-powered offenses, two elite quarterbacks, and two of the most innovative head coaches in history. Think about all this star power here. Patrick Mahomes, Drew Brees, Tyreek Hill, Michael Thomas, Travis Kelce, Jared Cook, Sammy Watkins, Emmanuel Sanders, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Alvin Kamara. That's a lot of big names. And we haven't even mentioned a single defensive player yet. Could the Chiefs move closer to dynasty status, or would the Saints finally capture that long-awaited second Lombardi trophy following 3 straight gut-wrenching postseason defeats? Both teams have championship-level defenses, but you figure that this would all come down to offense, not that we're complaining or anything. This matchup would have been epic in Super Bowl 53, but it would be even more exciting this time around. It could very well go down as the single greatest Super Bowl ever. So yes, this right here is the cream of the crop for all dream Super Bowl 55 matchups. Change our minds. But hey, what Super Bowl 55 matchup are you hoping to see the most? Join us in that comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton, and hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.